Hello, welcome to Ubercrit. This is a review of Super Roboy. Really quick, before I get started, just wanted to say I was given this game to review for free from the developers, and I'll let you know right up front that the game is pretty good. I wouldn't say it is fantastic, but it's pretty good. Now, if you want to know why I feel that way, go ahead and stick around for the rest of this review. So Super Roboy is a Metroidvania style game. Taking very heavy influence, I feel, from like Mega Man combined with Hollow Knight. And the first thing that will stick out to you most likely is the graphics. I feel like the graphics remind me of an earlier era of gaming. And what I mean by that is it gives me such Flash game vibes, and I mean that in the best way. Super Roboy feels like one of those games that you could have found on Newgrounds back in the day, and I think it looks great. Of course, that means that sometimes some of the sprites or enemies, if you will, don't always look the best, but I almost feel like it adds to the charm of the game. If this was super polished in this way, I feel like it would almost lose out. But when it comes to the game itself, it is a Metroidvania through and through. As you go through, you will unlock abilities that will allow you to explore new areas that you couldn't get to before. It is a run-and-gun style game, and overall it's pretty good. The controls are just a little bit looser than I would have liked, but it is good. You can get used to it, and you'll be fine. The game also isn't super challenging, at least with as much as I've played. Full disclosure, I was not able to complete the game. Through what I was able to get through was not super hard, and I did quite a few bosses. I imagine, of course, that it will ramp up as you go on, but in general, the game just didn't seem super difficult. Though, again, I was playing on normal. Who knows, right? If you want a more challenging experience, turn up the difficulty, I suppose. But speaking of the boss fights are really good. They're well designed. The bosses are fun. And again, going kind of back to the graphics, the animation and everything in it is just super, super unique and kind of awesome. And speaking of that, though, the general variety in the game is pretty good. Like I said earlier, it's a Metroidvania, so you get to level up, and as you defeat more enemies, you kind of learn new abilities. I think that aspect of the game is great. I think it can be super rewarding. If you're looking at stuff that I wasn't a super big fan of, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the controls are a bit sloppy. I felt like there was multiple times throughout my playtime of Super Roboy that I could not control my character as much as I wanted to. And to go along with that, the camera isn't great. I can't explain it super well, but it almost felt like the game was just a little bit too fast, or like the camera was just a little bit faster than my character. It kind of made me just slightly motion sick a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure how or why. It's not something I've experienced before, but figured I should mention it. The other thing I wasn't a huge fan of is the tone of the game. It is very not serious. And I'm not saying that every game needs to be like this gritty, serious adventure, but, you know, just the back and forth and banter between the main character and like the story devices just didn't resonate well with me. It seemed a bit too silly, like a bit too bantery, kind of like later Marvel movies. Not that anything is inherently poorly written, it just didn't hit well. And then, you know, the music was just there. I wouldn't say it was bad. I wouldn't say it was good. I feel like it was just there. This game's not going to win any, like, OST awards. But, you know, overall, I feel like the presentation is really good. The gameplay's fun, if a little bit easy. The boss fights are kind of the standout here, even with there being some like camera and control issues and the tone not being great. I still probably would recommend this one if you're into Metroidvania style games. I don't think this is the type of game that will break expectations and will be kind of like genre breaking. In other words, like if you're not into this style of game, I don't think this game will change your mind. But if you're into it and you're looking for something new to try, I would give it a try. I'm thinking like a 7 out of 10 for this one. It is just totally good. Like, and I think people will enjoy it if you're into this style of game. Thank you so much for listening and watching to this review of Super Roboy. We have some more stuff coming up, and I will talk to you later. See you later. Bye.